automation of the building information model breakdown structure, and the impact that this has on projects from a new perspective. So, for those of you that are not familiar with the software Autodesk Navisworks, it's a software that has a lot of features, but one of them is the visualization of the model. And when we say the model, we are not talking about a single model, but a group of models that you can see here on what is called the selection tree. So we have several models there, in this case AutoCAD models, but Navisworks can read almost every type of model. And when you have models, you have BIM people that are very familiar with models and not BIM people that are users and ask questions about the models. And they can ask, for example, a question like this: show me the fire protection and mechanical ducts on the 4th floor. And it's easy to answer to that question when you are talking to the person on the desk. And usually it takes a minute or two for that person to find what you are asking for. But 1 minute or two is really a very, very long time when you are in a meeting with 10, 15, or 20 people, and you want an answer, and you want the model to show you something. And when you have this list of models here, it's really difficult to answer validly the question that I presented. And what happens is that in the meetings, the people get bored, and we don't want to have this kind of meetings, right? Sometimes it's more than that. People feel sleepy, and if you feel sleepy, this is what you want to do, and we don't want everybody sleeping waiting for the model to show you something. So that's what we discovered, that these guys here, they can't wait more than 15 seconds for something to be shown on the model. It happens, 1 minute is too long. So that's why in this type of meetings that usually last 15 minutes, they use other tools. Even sometimes they have screens there, but they don't use the model as a group. Even the model is sometimes there, as you can see behind me. You have the model, nobody is looking at it. And this is an OEC meeting. The model is there, it's not being used. So what we propose is the automation of the model breakdown structure, and by creating this model breakdown structure here. So in this case, if you ask the same question, you have the time here, and you see that you can go straight to the 4th floor mechanical ducts fire protection, and it was 9 seconds to show that. When that happens, the people start becoming interested in the model, and they say, hey, let's use the model. Now, how we do this with a tool that we developed at SciFi at Stanford University, and the tool basically establishes the breakdown criteria on an Excel file. We have a level and a discipline, and then we have the models, the list of the models, and we copy them into Excel file with the location in our hard disk or the server, and then we assign the different breakdown criteria, which is very easy to do in Excel copy pasting. Once we do that, the tool picks, for example, all the models for the 1st floor, electrical, fire protection, and so on, and then groups them on the floor 1, and then every floor under the building, and that's how it works. Here is, you'll see that there is a folder below Autodesk, and a new folder will appear once you use the tool. It's like magic. That's why you have to click and say abracadabra for it to work. And it's also amazing. So once it's done, you see amazing, and you find the new work breakdown structure there that then you can open within Navisworks. So you see by floor and then by discipline. Now, once you have this Excel file, you have an order here, first the level and then the discipline. You can change the numbers. Now I want to see first the discipline and then the level, and you go back to the tool and change the name for B or second alternative or whatever. And you see here that we had one alternative A, and now we have a second alternative in which we have a different arrangement of the models, same models, different arrangements. And once you do that, you can load into Navisworks. And in this case, two different model breakdown structures. We have one there, and you can use the function append and bring the second one that we created. And you can combine the criteria that you decide and create as many more breakdown structures as you want and have all them on the model. So, and that's what allows you to answer in less than 15 seconds to any requirements from a person in a meeting. We tested this by the first time in this small $10 billion project in South Africa. And in this case, we had 10,000 models on the selection tree. And that's why they were not using the model for these job site meetings. And so they had this huge screen and this facility decided to use the model, but they were using it to put the PDF agenda on the screen. And well, they used the model once to look at what we, for some people, call the whole group model. It's a very nice model, but you can't ask for any specific detail on this model, right? So they went back practically to the PDF meeting agenda. But when we introduced the model breakdown structure, the things changed. In this case, we broke down the project by unit, by discipline, organization, contractor, location, and code. And when we had the model and we could answer in less than 15 seconds to the people requirements, this is what happened. The model started to be used intensively. This is a 15 seconds video of one of the sessions. And you can see that now nobody is bothered, sleeping, and they are all concentrated on the model and discussing whatever the purpose of the meeting was, even the guy behind. So in reality, what we did is we converted every single meeting on the project on an ICE session supported by the model breakdown structure, and using the tools and principles that were already in use. The project had a consultant from McKinsey, and they actually had not succeeded in implementing BIM, and when we added this tool, they started to implement BIM successfully. So they use the model for every single tool planning meeting, last plan meeting, coordination meeting, scheduling meeting, OAC meeting, and so on. I have more examples. This is the first, that was before DPR, and this is the first time we used DPR. He is the superintendent, and this is the daily 15 minutes cargo. And you see again that they could use the model because of the breakdown structure. So what we discovered is that there is this red line between design and construction, and all these people are not using the model nowadays. But because we are trying to push the model into them and it's not working. But with the tool that we have presented, it's working, and now we can add pull to push, and by giving a voice to the construction people on the BIM process, we have been able to identify ways of the BIM implementation process, and we need to revisit all the classical BIM implementation processes that really need to become modified when you consider the voice of the construction people. To finish, BIM is something really, really new, and mostly it is young people who are doing this as BIM coordinators and BIM managers. However, they are acting as if BIM were really old. They are acting like old actors, and the construction people is not involved in the BIM process. So we should involve the new young actor, the construction people, to break this red line and improve the BIM implementation under a push versus pull approach that will lead us to identify the ways that we are having now on the BIM implementation processes and that we don't know about. Thank you.